In this week's Fresh Market Price Overview, we look at price expectations over the next 3 months with tomato, carrot and onion prices that is likely to decrease. This and more in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. Welcome to this week's AMT John Deere Fruit and Veg Overview, proudly brought to you by John Deere and Zimmatic by Lindsay. Remember to like and subscribe to these videos. Looking at the latest economic indicators, OPEC decided last week to maintain production restrictions at least until 2025, but despite this, lower demand has still pushed the latest Brent oil prices downwards to $81.06 per barrel. The weaker economic growth in America also creates the expectation that we can expect low demand from them over the next year, which also kept oil prices on a lower level. The rand weakened last week due to the uncertainty over the election results and coalition negotiations at the moment. It currently appears that an ANC-DA coalition can support the rand or create more certainty, while other options unfortunately can negatively impact the rand. The rand thus stabilized on Monday on 18 rand 71 per US dollar. The possible decline in interest rates in the US also kept the dollar under pressure and the rand still on a stronger level. The past week, the average national potato price increased to 56.88 rand per 10 kg, with the volumes also 20% higher. The large price traded on 62.74 rand, mediums on 54.11 rand and smalls on 38.45 rand per 10 kg. Mondials traded on 63.33 rand, Saffrons on 52.28 and Lenormand's on 56.12 rand, with the average price on the Joburg market on 57.86 rand per 10 kg. Looking at expected price trends and seasonal movements, we are expecting higher prices during June and July, with volumes delivered on the markets expected to be lower over the next 3 months, thus supporting this upward movement. The tomato price increased by 30% over the past week to £9.90 rand per kilogram, with volumes decreasing by about 12%. Large tomato prices traded on 11.52 rand, mediums on 10.15 rand and smalls on 8.85 rand. The average price stayed on a higher level compared to the previous 4 seasons, although the total volumes during May was the second highest. I therefore believe that prices will come under pressure during June and stay on a lower level in July as well. The average carrot price increased by 7% last week to 5.74 rand per kilogram, while large carrot prices traded on 6.48 rand, mediums on 4.56 rand and smalls on 4.57 rand. During May, the average carrot price traded slightly lower than last year, but it was still significantly higher than the 3 seasons before that. But one thing that all 4 of these seasons had in common is that the price traded lower around the 4 rand per kilogram mark. So expect lower prices now and the price to fall back closer to the 4 rand mark now as well. The latest onion price decreased to 81.14 rand per 10 kg the past week, with brown onions trading on 79 rand, red onions on 149 and white onions on 83 rand per 10 kg. Large onions traded on 82, mediums on 86 and smalls on 68 per 10 kg. Although we had the highest volumes in May when compared to the previous 4 seasons, the price still traded on a high level, with only last year, when we had these record prices of course, trading on a higher level. I however think that this price will now decrease and stay on a lower level over the next 3 months, mostly due to higher volumes expected. The average pepper price decreased to 9.20 rand per kilogram last week, while green peppers decreased to 6.72 rand. Yellow pepper prices increased to 13.28 rand and red peppers traded 10% lower on 13.52 rand per kilogram. It looks like the average price can stay on a lower level during June, but can start trending upward in July and August again. Zimmatic by Lindsay offers fully integrated solutions to improve your operations, including leading pivot irrigation systems and the world's only cloud-based remote irrigation management tool. For more information and special offers, visit your nearest Zimmatic agent or contact Tanya on 082-853-0265. Looking at other market prices, we saw cabbage prices increasing to R3.96, while garlic prices increased by 10% to R90.33, which is now 66% higher compared to last year. Garlic volumes are about 39% lower compared to a year ago, and we last saw these high prices during COVID in 2020 when demand jumped sharply higher. Spinach prices stayed on R4.36, while sweet potato prices increased to R4.96 per kilogram. The latest pumpkin price decreased to R2.61 per kilogram. Moving over to the fruit market, we saw the banana price increasing last week from very low price levels and traded on R6.81 per kilogram, which is about R123 per 18 kilogram box, with volumes increasing by 21% week on week as well. During May, the volumes came in significantly higher compared to the previous 2 seasons. We are therefore expecting that prices will stay on a lower level during June and July. The latest apple price increased to R8.57 last week, while the latest pear price also traded about 3% higher on R9.16 per kilogram. I think that both these prices can trend mostly sideways or slightly upward over the short term. The orange price decreased by 6% to R4.61 the past week, and we are expecting volumes, of course, to stay on a higher level because we're in production season at the moment, at least until August, which can keep this price around the R5 mark until then. The avocado price also increased by 1% to R13.23 per kilogram last week, while Viertuis traded higher on R16.86, Haas on R9.95 and Pinkertons on R13.62. We are still expecting avo prices to increase during June, but the average price will most likely remain around the R15 mark over this period. The average table grape price increased to R71.47, with volumes decreasing by about 11% week on week. During June and July, it is likely that this price can trend even higher. The latest pineapple price traded 1% higher on R12.57, while lemon prices increased to R4.28 per kilogram. These videos are made possible by John Deere and Zimmatic by Lindsay. Feel free to visit our website at amtrends.co.za for more detailed reports, our latest prices and videos. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.